Pain is a major public health problem. It affects more than 100 million adults in the United States every year, and it results in staggering costs to the society and to the individual. There are pronounced racial and ethnic disparities in pain, with Black and Hispanic individuals being more likely to report acute pain and greater pain severity compared to their non-Hispanic white counterparts. There are also important racial and ethnic differences in pain responses to experimental tasks, with African Americans typically reporting lower pain thresholds and lower pain tolerances compared to non-Hispanic white individuals. But the factors that contribute to those differences are not well understood. One factor, trauma exposure, has received a lot of attention in theoretical models. We know that prior trauma increases risk for chronic widespread pain, for example, by 2 to 3 times, and is associated with alterations in experimental pain responses. So our hypotheses for this study were that higher cumulative trauma would be associated with a pro-nociceptive profile, evident in lower threshold, lower tolerance, and heightened temporal summation of second pain. We recruited 106 African American adults with no chronic pain at baseline. Their mean age was about 26, and they included 63 women and 43 men. They were part of a larger, ongoing longitudinal study. We assessed temporal summation using a sequence of heat pulses delivered by a thermo to the forearm. Patients were asked to report their pain levels after each pulse. The blue line here shows for a healthy individual that there is typically some small increase in pain ratings. However, for patients with chronic pain or at risk for chronic pain, we typically see greater increases across the task. And what we found was that higher trauma exposure was associated with higher pain thresholds, was not associated with pain tolerance, and it was associated with lower temporal summation of pain. You see here in the figure, individuals with higher trauma exposure, depicted in the red line, had less steep increases in pain across the task. So contrary to our expectations, cumulative trauma exposure was associated with an anti-nociceptive pattern. We know that trauma exerts both pain intensifying and pain numbing effects, but the mechanisms that contribute to this unexpected and potentially adaptive pain response profile are unclear and may include dissociative processes and stress response system alterations.